where I was working, and I looked at what I have left in order to disposable income to pay this loan, and I gave it to him. And when I gave it to him, he looked at it and he said, "Oh, good job, good job." I didn't know that he was training me. I didn't know that he was training me. And after I gave it to him, he said, "Well, I will give you, I'll loan you 2,500. I can't give you the whole 5,000." And I was a little bit despondent, but I took the 2,500, and it just made me work harder to get some more money. And my uncle was a dean of Rancho Santiago College out in Santa Monica. And after he gave me the money, I got the money. It made me work harder to get that other 2,500, because he didn't know that when I closed the deal, they was giving me money back. And he gave it to me for a year. And as soon as my income tax, I went and paid him. I got my income tax. He was, "Oh, you pay me back soon." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, if you ever need some more money, you can come to me." And I was like, wow, I strived to pay him off, because he was my bank, he was my TRW, and everything. He was everything, my credit. So, and I remember when I paid him off, he was so proud, and he told me, "Look, young man, whenever somebody gives you money, it's a good thing to pay it back early." And that was something that stuck with me, that I paid him back early. And he said the other reason why I didn't give you the 5,000, because that'd make you out a bad hustler. And I'm like, woo, because he had the money. But it made me dig to go get that additional money, and I did. And when people just give you stuff, you don't really appreciate it as much as if you earned it and used your hard money on it. So he was a person that taught me real well about, if I'm starting a business, because the home was a business, that I need to have a budget, I need to be prepared. Customers is another form of getting finances or money for your business. Some people will have businesses where, say, if you have like a concert promoting business, right? Or you're doing events that you're going to charge for. The money that you receive when you sell pre-sale tickets, that's basically a source of income right there to continue to like when the tickets come in, you get that money and you get that money, and that is money that's like financing. That's a source of money so that you could continue to do your business. People putting the deposits on things. If you're a wedding planner, I need, the cost is going to be $3,000. I need $1,000 up front. You're going to need that $1,000 to do some other things, But when you have a job or you have a career that the customers, they're going to give you basically like seed money, then that's the way that you get your financing as well. And then your suppliers want you to succeed. And when you demonstrate that you have credit, or that you have like a plan, you can definitely present that to them. And in some cases, they'll give you money. Banks, no, let me back up. Government. There are many loans from the government right now. It's a lot, okay? And I know you guys, who's heard of the Small Business Association, SBA? Write that down, look up SBA. SBA, the small business, is the Federal Small Business Association. And what happens is that the Small Business Association, you can get a loan from them. But in order to get the loan from them, you need to be able to demonstrate and document your business, what your business is, and what your business, the money that your business can make. It also has another caveat to the SBA, is everybody remember COVID, right?
Yeah.
And you know how many people actually lost their business because of COVID. Well, they had a loan out there that actually an economic injury loan, and a lot of people got it. And a lot of people got it who didn't even have a business, and they were making up businesses, and they're getting in trouble now. The first time they had that loan out there, I was basically, well, it's gonna be okay. I don't need it. But then they brought another one, and I got it. And in order to get it, you had to have a business. You had to have a business. You had to have. I had to have taxes. They wanted to know everything about me, and they gave me a low interest loan. It was like 2% loan. I didn't have to pay it back after a year. That's another way that you can get financing. And then you can get a business loan. Business loans, you can get business loans from different entities, and some of the requirements that you're gonna need is almost like a home loan. When somebody come to get a home, they're gonna want to look at your credit, they're gonna look at your finances. But the business loan has a few more of the business. When you have a DBA or LLC or a corporation, when you get in a business loan, you're gonna have to show them what type of entity you have. So they don't want to see your business license. They don't want to see your corporation with your articles of incorporation. And that's one reason why you establish this business. And then as far as the DBA, and since you guys are so young starting business, is that, a lot of the judgment on whether or not they're going to give you a loan is how long your business has been in existence. So longevity of a business, that's one of the criteria that they use to qualify you to when they underwrite the loan. So that's why you really want to keep your DBA, and you want to keep it going. And that bank account too. You want to keep that going. They want a clear and detailed business plan. They want tax returns, business and personal. They want bank statements, financial statements. Those are some of the things that we're talking about. These are financial statements and documents that we're preparing right now. Balance sheet, income statement, cash flow. Some of the things I know you guys already heard in here before. And the collateral, documentation for collateral. If you have a cleaners and you have a big machine that does the cleaners, then they can use that as a collateral. You got an extensive camera collection with all kind of, that can be used as collateral. So it's different things that you can use in order to get money, because the name of the game is really leverage. In the United States, all over the world, it's leverage. You want to use other people's money to help you make money. And just like when you're buying a home, you want to use leverage. If you have the cash, use it. But if you don't have the cash, get you a loan. But in order to get a loan, whether it's a personal loan, a home loan, a car loan, a business loan, you're going to definitely have to show documentation to prove that you're worthy. And credit is a big part of it as well. And when you get your business established, you're going to get some offers for some credit. And they're going to do the offers for the credit off of your current and existing credit. So they're going to look at that. But because your business, they automatically start that they want you to succeed. And I think I mentioned it before, don't get that credit card and all of a sudden you just go spend it, and give you a $300 limit, and then the first day you get it is $299. Do that. What that does is that it damages your future. This is something for the future, and you want to be very, very disciplined about your credit. When you're dealing with the banks, okay, the banks are going to want to know your business plan. They're going to know everything about you. They may give you a business credit card. Like I know one of the ones that attacked when my daughter opened up her business is that Staples basically sent them a credit offer that it didn't need anything, because they figured that I'll get this person right now. And her credit she didn't have a lot of credit, barely had credit, and they gave her the credit card. So those are some things that you can utilize to help finance the business that you're trying to do. But make no mistake about it, you really need to have credit, be credit conscious. Because when you pay that money, when you get that money and you spend it and you don't pay it back, it's going to hurt you and you're going to suffer in the end, right?
So let's say you have student loans.
Pardon me?
Let's say you have student loans. Would that be like an obstacle of any kind in trying to get credit for your business?
For a home loan, it definitely affects it. But for a business loan, when you first start off, as long as it has a proper pay history, and if it doesn't, there's still things you can do. But if you have student loans, that also tells them that you are a person that is, you're interested in bettering yourself. You see what I'm saying? So student loans aren't bad, but they use them when you're doing home loans in your debt ratio. So if your monthly payment is your monthly payment on the student loan is $100 every month, they're going to calculate that in with your home loan to see if you qualify. But a lot of times people get student loans, and when they get student loans, they don't answer the mail. They just turn in the collection of bad debt, and then they will judge you on that. You want to say something?
Yeah, student loans they're looking at your ability to pay. And like you said, it's gonna be part of your debt. So when you're looking at that, whenever you look at all your bills and how much you have to pay, I would say minimum payment, you take that number and divide it into your income, and you will get a number. It's a percentage. That's your debt ratio. Okay? So, when you apply for something, you can always ask them, what are their underwriting guidelines? Some of them will tell you, you need to be like on your mortgages, they're a little bit more lenient. Is it 30% with the house note in there?
It fluctuates, but what it's like for conventional loans, it's 38. 33, it's 33 on the bottom and 38 on the top. Government loans let you go higher, 41. Right now they've been going up to 49.9.
Just remember, always keep track of those numbers. Always, if you can, try to pay that student loan debt down. Try to get the program where you can, they forgive, and it might be changed on some of, especially like the medical ones, when they work in certain areas, they'll forgive that debt.
Teaching too.
Yeah,
You
they
get
forgive some of
they
those.
forgive if
So
you're a
you
teacher.
might wanna look at that and say, okay, I'm gonna go this way because I'm gonna have this, I gotta have this deal, so I can look at what I need to do
Stop
to
it.
be
I'm
in
sorry.
that position.
And I'm glad you brought that up. That's an interesting thing about student loans. And, I kind of work with a advocacy. My volunteer work is with a Black home ownership advocacy organization. And we have been fighting to eliminate student loans on qualifying people. We said that debt shouldn't be there. We said especially if they're in deferment. Student loans go into deferment. They used to go into deferment for like up to 5 years. But when the banking industry found out that they go into deferment for 5 years, they told the student loan people that you can only put a student loan in deferment for 2 years. And then the people come back and do another 2 years and another. You can take it on, but when we're qualifying people, we have to look at the debt for 2 years. For 3 years and on. So if you can't show that thing is deferred for over 3 years, they charge you with it. And the worst thing about the student loans, what people don't even think about, is that if you're going to get a business loan, any type of business loan, or a home loan, they go and look at everything about you. They look at your first grade teacher. They look at your credit. But you know what the issue is? I have clients that have came to me and have student loan debt in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they didn't qualify them or nothing. They just signed on the dotted line. They didn't have to prove credit or anything. And that's where we're saying the disparity is that you give somebody a student loan and they don't have to qualify. When they try to get a loan for a business, then you put them through all of this. So it's and the percentage of the people that get student loan, by race, who do you think gets the most student loans? Black people.
Yeah.
And these people get in debt for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they didn't even have to qualify. Because you got a business plan, you have everything. You go to the bank, no. So, but you have to just strategically build your credit for business credit. And the first step is starting a business, getting your paperwork, and then bank accounts. operate out of that bank account so they can see some activity and see some transactions, let them know that you are a viable business. And that, those are some of the things that's gonna help you to build up your business credit report. And I think I told you guys before, you have a personal, which is a FICO score, the 3 Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, and then you have business credit score, which is they have a Paydex number or a Duns number, DUNNS.
Mm-hmm.
It's for Duns and Bradstreet, and you build that number up. And when that number builds up, your business can get some money. But though that's the other entity. Another entity is business loans. You have bank loans that you can get a bank loan, but you know what I'm saying. When you're new, it's a little difficult. And you also have hard. They call them hard money loans. I would not suggest it unless you had a business and you had a big contract and you need a certain amount of money to make that contract go through. Then that's when you get it, because they are high interest and they are very aggressive in attacking you with the hard money loan. Credit unions, saving loans and associates, hard asset lenders, private investors. Credit unions are actually a good source of trying to get money and building your credit. They have got into the business, credit unions have got into the business of doing business loans. And they're a lot smaller, and they can listen to your business plan, and you have a better shot of getting a business loan from the credit union when you will these big banks. These big banks, they're ferocious. And you definitely want to read up, get you some information on the business loan and what it takes to get it. It doesn't really take much to get the business loan, but you definitely start building your credit. When you do this DBA, you're going to see that they're going to send you credit offers and you can take them, but don't make sure that you use them to strictly do your business. Please don't get it and then, I know times is rough and you got to buy gas, but it's going to hurt you. Or make sure that you're able to pay it back soon after you get it. Somebody had a question. You have a question?
Yeah, even though our finances with the DBA isn't separate from our personal, you still recommend having separate accounts?
Yes, most definitely. But see, on the DBA, when you do it, they usually put your name on there along with your DBA name.
On where? Put our name on where?
Yeah, it's like whatever your company is on DBA, they say that on the bank account, they put your name on there too.
When you have a business, you should always have a separate account. So mine would be Charlotte Burnett doing business as Silk Rose. That's how it's set up. The reason you do that is you don't, even though you are the sole proprietor, you don't want to mix your business with your personal. So one thing is on an accounting, it creates an accounting nightmare for that person. And also for you to go in there and figure out what is the business part, that write-off part, as opposed to me. So always keep your business separate. And when you do your taxes, your estimated taxes, it's gonna probably run through the business account. You're gonna run everything that way.
Definitely want to keep it separate.
Absolutely.
You don't want to commingle. You know what I mean? This is business, and this is my personal, for sure. Has anybody in there opened up a bank? I think somebody told me they working on their personal. They work off their personal account for business,
A lot of
or
people
under
do
their
it for
somebody else's account.
Can I be honest?
Can I be honest?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
So, I have several bank accounts. Like 5 different bank accounts. My main bank account, I have my checking, and then I have a shares account for photography by B. Renee. What I need help with is actually dedicating one of those specifically for photography by B. Renee, because I wind up interchanging So I just wanna put it out there that even I have a problem. And so one day I will be sitting down with the two of you to help me keep that straight.
And see, and that's I mean, you're not the lone ranger, you're not the lone stranger. People do it all the time, and when you do that, you get into the commingling thing, and then but it's a little bit difficult, like Charlie said, to track what is my company and what is my personal. You know, and you really want to be able to go to a bank, go to a lender, and you want to be able to, this is my business, and my business does this. And I was taught a long time ago to say everything to my business, everything. And when it goes to my business, you know, what I actually make, the bankers just want to see that I'm making these strong deposits. So when they make their decision, they do their underwriting, say, you know, this company right here is donating, I mean, not donating, is depositing 50,000 a month. And 50,000 a month transfer, you know, and if you can do that, just the deposits alone, they're gonna look at my taxes, but most of the bankers and the people that do the loans, they know that corporations, they know that if you're getting 50,000 a month, that, and your taxes show that you're not making that much, they know that you have capital to work with, and they'll let you go depending on the size loan you get. So that's why, you know, you have that separate one. And if you put out money for various things, like I put out money for various things out of the business account for my agents, you know, and eating, and if I'm getting on the plane, somebody was talking about the expenses, you know. Everything I do is a business.